does not provoke violence anymore. I would contend that Christianity doesn't promote violence anymore because of the watering down in American society of traditional Christian values. I think if you look at people like Thomas Aquinas, who even called for, if you had an unbeliever friend, you offer him 3 times, and the 3rd time, you kill him. I think that now, especially in liberal democracy, he's equated with the natural law and natural rights teaching of John Locke, which I think are completely opposites of each other. That being said, I have a question, which is, are you asking for military intervention in the Middle East? Again, because you said protective, so how would we do that without military intervention?
It's very difficult. In the first place, I did want to say about Thomas Aquinas, yeah, he did call for the execution of heretics. And this was at a time when there was an understanding of the state and its relationship to Christianity that I think has considerably evolved. And that in the Catholic Church of which he was a member, there's nobody who would endorse such a principle now, not because of watering down. I would contend, I mean, this is a little bit of a tangent, so we can perhaps discuss this privately later on, but not a watering down, but an evolution of the understanding of the dignity of the human person as being created in the image of God, and that meant a respect for the choice that the judgment of that person, even if one differs with it. But anyway, as far as military intervention goes, I would be in favor of it only if it were limited and not followed by all the Wilson-esque George Marshall nation building that tends to follow American military action nowadays. And the problem with that kind of action is that it's based on false premises, false assumptions that got us into so much trouble in Iraq and Afghanistan when the American analysts did not understand Islam, did not understand its power in the culture, thought that it would be easy to set up secular republics. And this is because they were listening to Islamic apologists who were saying it's a religion of peace and saying it doesn't have a necessary political component or necessary supremacist component, all these things that make us feel good about it, but they're just not true, and they turned out to be not true when these principles were applied in Iraq and Afghanistan.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, you're advocating for the Jeffersonian tradition of foreign policy rather than the Jacksonian, which would be to just crush the threat altogether.
Crush them altogether?
Which would be the
Well,
Jacksonian.
I'd be all for crushing the Islamic State. I just wouldn't be for hanging around and playing games and giving basketballs to kids and stuff. You know, the military shouldn't be doing that kind of thing. It doesn't work. The idea is you win hearts and minds that way and build alliances, but when you have a culture that believes that the unbelievers are the most vile of created beings, which the Quran says, chapter 98, verse 6, then if the most vile of created beings are always scheming against the Muslims, they come and they give you gifts, you meet that with suspicion and contempt. It makes you think, oh, they're trying to take away my religion or destroy or undermine me in some way by winning me over. And so it's just a self-defeating exercise.
Thank you.